Hello students, myself is Parminder Singh from Prab Kripa classes. Our today's topic is understanding foreign exchange markets, rates, quoting methods, demand drivers and supply sources. After going through this course, the students will understand what is meant by foreign exchange rate. They will understand that foreign exchange rate is the rate at which the currency of one country can be exchanged with that of another country. They will also understand that there are two main ways of quoting of exchange rates, that is direct quote and indirect quote. Direct quote is mostly used in foreign exchange rates where the price of domestic currency is written first and after that foreign currency rate is written, that is demand currency divided by foreign currency. You will understand how the quoting of direct rates and indirect quoting of foreign exchange rates takes place. You will understand all in detail. You will also understand what are the reasons for the demand of foreign exchange. The demand of foreign exchange takes place for import, tour and travel, for investment abroad, and many other reasons. You will also understand what are the sources for supply of foreign exchange. It may be export, it may be tour and travel, loan from abroad, or investment from abroad, and many other reasons. We will also form we will also understand the formation of foreign exchange demand curve and foreign exchange supply curve. You will also understand whether the demand curve or supply curve is in the form of a straight line, demand curve is sloping downward and supply curve is sloping upward, whether it is in the form of straight line or some curved line. We will understand all the aspects in a very easy language and hope you will find this course very informative and knowledgeable. Now the topic before us is meaning of foreign exchange rate. Suppose we want to visit another country, say USA. We are living in India. So when we are to visit USA, that is the foreign country, we will be staying there, we will be taking food or purchasing certain goods and services from there. So what will we pay? In which form we will pay? We will pay in the form of local currency, that is the legal tender of USA. What is the currency of USA? It is US dollar. So when we are visiting another country, we will require the domestic currency of that country, that is US dollar is the foreign currency for an Indian. When we are to purchase foreign currency, we will have to pay some Indian currency. At present, the rate of one US dollar is about rupees 83 Indian rupee. It is approximately. So, what is the meaning of foreign exchange rate? Foreign exchange rate means what amount of currency we will have to pay to purchase one unit of another currency, or what is the price of one currency in relation to another. In the same way, if we are to visit Canada, we will have to purchase Canadian dollar. What is the value of Canadian dollar? It is 61.04 Indian rupee. If we are to say visit some European countries where euro is the legal tender, then we will have to pay 89.60 Indian rupee. That is, to purchase 1 euro, we will have to pay 89.60 Indian rupee. This is the exchange rate. That is, when we are to exchange one currency for another, this is the exchange rate. The price of one currency in relation to another currency. Now, this is the definition. Foreign exchange rate is also shortly known as simply exchange rate, or it is the rate or price at which currency of one country can be exchanged for currency of another. In simple terms, we can say that how much of one currency we need to pay to purchase one unit of another currency. This is known as forex rate. As of March 1st, 2024, exchange rate between euro and Indian rupee is 89.60. Here it is Indian rupee, it is euro. So we will have to pay 89.60 Indian rupee to receive 1 euro. In the same way, if we want to purchase say 1 euro and we are living in USA, then to purchase 1 euro we will have to pay 1.08 US dollars. It is not that the exchange rates are fixed. That is, if the exchange rate of euro today is 1.08 US dollar, it will remain as it is in future. That is, it is continuously changing every second, because in the foreign exchange market, which is a decentralized marketplace and where the participants are spread across the globe in the form of banks, foreign exchange dealers, central bank, individual traders, the transactions are continuously taking place in the foreign exchange market, and the forex rate continuously changes from time to time. It is dynamic. Dynamic means changing, and it fluctuates from time to time. Exchange rates, why they change? Exchange rates, why fluctuate? Because it is influenced, exchange rates are influenced by different factors. What is supply and demand? Suppose if there is lot of demand of US dollars, and today suppose US dollar is approximately say 83 Indian rupee. It is, we are taking just example. If there is high demand, then it may be possible that its price may increase. That is, the exchange rate may increase. Or if the demand for US dollar decreases, it is quite possible that it may decrease. In the same way, if the supply of one currency is more, then its exchange rate in comparison to other currency may fall. Next is economic conditions. Economic conditions also affect the exchange rate. Central bank policies. The value of the currency is also affected by the policies of the central bank. If the policies of the central bank are favorable, then the value of your currency in relation to another currency increases. If the market sentiments are good, the value of your currency will appreciate in relation to other currencies. If market sentiment is not proper, the value of your currency in relation to other currencies will decrease. If there is political instability in the country, suppose if there is political instability in India, suppose, then what will happen? It may be possible that the value of this currency, Indian currency, may fall up to say 86 or 90. We are here just taking the example of US dollar or Indian rupee. It can be in comparison to other currencies as well, in comparison to euro, in comparison to ruble, etc. Forex rates are always quoted in pairs. When we go to the market to purchase something, say certain goods, then what happens? We ask the shopkeeper what is the price. He tells that the value of this goods is worth rupees this, or the value of this goods is worth rupees $1 or some other price. So on one side there is quantity and on the other side there is the price of the goods. In the same way, when we are talking about the foreign exchange rate, what we are doing? We are selling one currency and buying another currency. For example, we are living in India, we are having Indian rupee, and we want to visit Canada, where currency is Canadian dollar, or we want to import certain goods from Canada. So here, what two currencies are involved? It is Indian rupee we are selling, or Canadian dollar we are buying. So here two currencies are involved. In the same way, if we want to visit, say, Australia, so what will happen? There again two currencies will be involved. One is Indian rupee and the other is Australian dollar. So forex rates are always quoted in pairs, because when you exchange currencies, you are essentially buying one currency and while simultaneously selling another currency. In case of India, we will be selling Indian rupee and buying another currency. You will always see that forex rates written as something like this: EUR over USD, pronounced as euro per US dollar. We are simply giving here example. It can be also just like this, or it can be like this. So when it is written that euro oblique USD exchange rate is 1.08, it means that 1 euro can be exchanged for approximately 1.08 US dollar. In the same way, if we want to purchase one Canadian dollar, we will have to pay 61.04 Indian rupee. It may be added that the value of Kuwaiti dollar is the highest in the world. Value of the foreign currency, that is the Kuwaiti dollar, is highest in the world. However, the strongest currency in the world is US dollar. However, there are also other currencies. This is US dollar is normally preferred in international trade. Currency options for importers. Suppose we are from India and we want to purchase certain goods from USA, or we want to purchase certain goods from, say, Nepal. What is the position? If we are normally, as an Indian, if we import certain goods from some other country, then we will normally have to pay in the currency of the exporter country. Suppose if it is USA or it is, say, Japan, we are here importing goods, or from USA, then it may happen that normally when we import goods, the will of the exporter country or the will of the exporter prevails. That is, we will have to pay as per the wishes of the exporting country or exporting businessman. So naturally, when we are importing goods from Japan, they may ask that you pay in Japanese currency, Japanese yen. Or when we are importing goods from USA, they will ask for payment in US dollars. Or if we're importing from some other country, they may ask for US dollars, which is the mostly preferred currency in the international trade. It may also happen that when we are importing from some other country, they may ask that neither the currency of the importer nor the currency of exporter, neither the currency of the importing country nor the currency of the exporting country. For example, if we take the example of say India, USA, it may happen that the exporter and importer may agree that they will instead ask for payment of some third other currency, that the importer will pay in some other currency. Though it is very rare, it may happen that some third currency may be opted for transaction, international trade as agreed. It may also happen that sometimes there are trade agreements between two countries. Suppose there are two countries A and B, as has happened in the case of Russia and China. Russia and China have entered into an agreement that to give preference to their domestic currency in the trade between Russia and China, they will give preference to the currency of the exporting country. It means that if Russia is the importer, the Russia is the importer from China, Russia is importing, then it will pay in Chinese currency. If China is importing, then exporter is Russia, then the Chinese will have to pay in rubles. So it may happen that in case of trade agreement, they may ask for the payment in the currency of the exporting country. So these are the three options before you. That is, one is domestic currency, another is strong currency, which is normally US dollar, and the third option is other currencies, neither the currency of the exporting country nor the importing country, but some other third currency. Now, there are some factors which influence this choice of currency, in which currency international trade should happen. In case we are in India and we are importing certain goods, then there may be certain restrictions imposed by the Central Bank of India. It means that is Reserve Bank of India, which is the central bank in India. There may be certain rules and regulations which have been framed with regard to foreign exchange. So we will have to obey the same. As already told, there may be some trade agreement between two countries. Now, normally, trade agreement is fastened on the business community. The individual traders may opt for not to insist for the currency of the exporting country in return of the goods. We hope you might have understood this concept of meaning of foreign exchange rate very easily. Now the topic before us is your roadmap to understanding direct and indirect exchange rates. Foreign exchange rate can be quoted in two main ways: direct quote and indirect quote. To understand direct quote and indirect quote, we take an example. We are from India, and here the currency is, or the legal tender or domestic currency is, Indian rupee. We want to visit some other country, say USA, and The currency of USA is US dollar, which is a foreign currency for an Indian. So in the case of direct quote of foreign exchange rate, direct quote comes as domestic currency over foreign currency. Domestic currency divided by foreign currency. When we are giving the direct quote, it means that how much of domestic currency is needed to purchase, how much of domestic currency is required to purchase 1 unit of foreign currency. If we take the example of India, Indian rupee and US dollar, what is the exchange rate, direct exchange quote? It is 82.83 INR, and here comes 1 USD. This is the direct quote. Here we are using INR over USD. Value of INR is 82.83. Here we will get, to get 1 US dollars, we will be paying 82.83. That is, we will be required to pay 82.83 Indian rupee to get 1 unit of other currency. Here we are talking about other currency, which is US dollar. So we will be paying 82.83 Indian rupee to get 1 US dollars. Next is indirect quote. In case of indirect quote is by way of foreign currency over domestic currency. Here we are basically asking how much foreign currency can we buy, how much of foreign currency can we buy with 1 unit of domestic currency. Now here we are talking about Indian rupee and US dollar. We are from India, so here what will be US indirect quote will be US dollar over Indian rupee, USD oblique INR. So what is US dollar is here, the what is the value? 1 US dollar is equal to 82.83. So here USD over INR, what will happen? It is 0.012. So with we can buy 0.012. We can purchase or buy 0.012 of US dollars with 1 unit of Indian currency or 1 Indian rupee. This is the indirect quote. In the forex market, foreign exchange market, when we are quoting exchange rates, we normally use direct quote. That is, we will have to pay this much of domestic currency to purchase 1 unit of foreign currency or 1 unit of another currency. We normally use direct quote. So why we use direct quote? Because it is easy for a person to understand. Suppose we want to purchase Canadian dollar, so we will say that we will have to pay 61.04 Indian rupee. We will have to pay 61.04 Indian rupee to purchase 1 Canadian dollar. So it is a direct quote. Normally, we we people use direct quote of foreign exchange rate. Now the topic before us is exploring the drivers of foreign exchange demand. As an individual, we may say that we do not require foreign exchange. We do not require foreign currency because we are from middle class family. We are not having surplus funds to make investment abroad. Our children are not studying abroad. If children are studying abroad, then there may be demand. We will have to send them money in foreign exchange. Our children are not studying abroad. Then, when we are not having enough means, then we are not to purchase goods from foreign country. No purchase. We are a middle class family. None of our relative lives abroad. So if our relative is lying abroad, we may have to send certain gifts on their birthday or on their wedding anniversaries. But when none of our relatives lying abroad is residing abroad, we do not require foreign exchange. We will need no foreign exchange to pay them. When we are already living hand to mouth, as most of the population in every country is hand to mouth, they are middle class family. They do not have the means for giving donations, no donations abroad, no grants, no donations. So when we are from middle class family, there are many reasons for us that there is no demand from our side for foreign currency or we do not require foreign exchange. But here we are talking as a nation, not as an individual level. So when we are talking the concept of demand of foreign exchange as a nation, there are many sources demand for foreign exchange or why do we demand foreign exchange. First reason is imports. When we import, suppose from USA, we are importing goods. In most of the cases, when there is a trade between two countries, the will of the exporter country prevails. That is, the exporting businessman decides in which form he will receive the payment in return of goods and services provided by him. Here the goods have or services have been provided by USA. So Indian people or Indian businessmen will have to pay in US dollars. So in case of imports, we will require foreign exchange. When we visit any country, say we visit Japan, where will we will stay? We will stay in hotel. When we stay there, we will also eat something. So we will have to spend something on food. When we have gone to some other country, then we will certainly purchase certain goods from that country which are famous, for which Japan is famous, or which may be value for us, or as a reminder that we have visited certain country. So for tour and traveling, we also require foreign exchange. When we are going from India to Japan, we will be requiring Japanese currency, because in Japan, our Indian currency, which is Indian rupee, will not be accepted for buying or purchase or for buying goods and services. We will have to pay in Japanese yen. So we will be requiring foreign currency. Or then so in this way, in the case of tour and traveling, demand for foreign exchange arises. Third is repayment of international loans. It is possible that we have taken an international loan from Russia in the form of rubles, their currency, Russian currency. Then we will have to pay in that currency. Direct purchases abroad. We are a businessman. We are having sufficient money in the form of Indian rupee. We want to make investments abroad because we are having enough money. So when we are to make investments abroad, we will require foreign exchange, or we will require foreign currency. If we want to say make certain purchases in Canada, we will require Canadian dollar. So to purchase direct purchases abroad, to purchase their shares, to purchase their certain businesses or acquire certain businesses, to purchase certain industries, manufacturing units in Canada or in any other country, we will require foreign exchange. Speculation or speculative trading. There are in the foreign exchange market, there are speculators also. Speculative trading means when a person sells or purchases a foreign exchange thinking that the price of other currency may increase or decrease, it is called speculative trading. If the speculative trader thinks that the price of another currency is likely to rise shortly, he may demand or purchase foreign exchange. In this way, demand for foreign currency or demand for foreign exchange arises. Next is hedging. When we are to import from US dollars, suppose there is a businessman in India and he is importing goods from USA. At present, the price of $1 is something 82.83 Indian rupee. This rate is subject to fluctuation from time to time. We are taking just example. So, if an Indian businessman is purchasing goods, say worth rupees $1,000, this is the present value. The importer is importing goods worth 1,000 US dollars. So in form of Indian currency, he will have to pay at present 830 Indian rupee. But the transaction is to take place sometime in future. Say the import is to take place at a certain date in future, say after 3 months. There is 3 months time lag between importing. But the businessman in India thinks that the price of US dollar, which is at present 82.83, may increase to 87 Indian rupee. So if he has to make payment after 3 months, if he purchases now, he can purchase immediate purchase. This is the spot market purchase. He will have to pay 82,830 rupees for 1,000 dollars, but he does not require immediately. He will not do transaction immediately. He will not enter into spot market transaction. Here he requires US dollar sometime in future after 3 months. So he will enter into forward market transaction. We have already discussed spot market and forward market transaction in one of our earlier courses. So he may enter into forward market contract, that where the exchange price is determined at present. Say that the businessman agrees with the seller of US dollar that he will purchase $1,000 at the rate of $81 is equal to 84 Indian rupee in future. The rate is determined today, but the transaction will take place after 3 months. So here, when the businessman is thinking that the price of US dollar in relation to Indian rupee will increase, it may happen. So to avoid that risk, there is a difference of 3 Indian rupee per US dollar, which he thinks that he will have to pay extra if he does not enter into forward market contract. So hedging is also a source of demand for foreign exchange. Hedging is a strategy to avoid risk in future. That is to avoid the fluctuation in currency risk. It is a way of avoiding currency risk. We also demand foreign exchange or foreign currency for sending gifts if our relatives are living abroad. If we have already discussed what are unilateral transfers. Unilateral transfers are one-sided transfers for which no return in the form of money or goods or services is there. Unilateral transfers are in the form of donation or one-time aid on humanitarian ground. So if we are to send unilateral transfers, we also require foreign exchange. We want to help some other country on humanitarian ground, then for that we will require foreign currency. If we want to give certain donations abroad, we will require foreign currency. So for all these purposes, we require foreign exchange or foreign currency. If our children are studying abroad, then they will be demanding money or demanding foreign exchange. If they are living in, say, Australia, they will be demanding Australian dollars. So we will have to buy Australian dollars so that we can send them. Now, demand of foreign exchange with the help of a curve. This is the demand curve. Of foreign exchange. Here it is the quantity of foreign exchange demanded. It is on x-axis. It is the price of foreign currency in relation to Indian currency, or it is the forex rate, foreign exchange rate on y-axis. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. Suppose the price is of US dollars is in relation to Indian currency. Here we are talking about US dollars and Indian rupee. This is the exchange rate between US dollars and Indian rupee. So 1 US dollar, suppose at present, is equal to 83 Indian rupee. So this is the exchange rate. At suppose at this price, which is the 83 Indian rupee, the quantity demanded of foreign exchange is say 1000. This is one. Here we are to write 1000. 1000 units of or $1,000 of US dollars are demanded at 83 when the exchange rate is 83. Suppose the price of or the exchange rate increases to 86. Exchange rate or the price of US dollar in relation to Indian rupee increases. What will happen? The quantity demanded will decrease, say to 800 US dollars. So there is inverse relationship between the price of foreign currency and quantity demanded. That is, there is the inverse relationship between the forex rate and quantity demanded. If the price of foreign currency or the forex rate increases, demand decreases, and vice versa. If the price decreases, demand foreign currency increases. Here we have shown demand curve in this straight line. Now it is helpful in understanding the relationship between the demand of foreign exchange and foreign exchange rate. It is very helpful in understanding the relationship between two, demand and price of foreign currency. But in reality, the demand curve may be in this form. It is somewhat in the form of a curved line. If we keep the demand curve in the form of a straight line, it means that for every proportional increase in price, there will be proportional decrease in demand. But it always does not happen so, because some goods are, for some goods substitutes are not available. For some services, substitutes are not available in the market. So even when the price of those goods or services which are imported from the other country, for which the substitute is not available in our country, the demand for those goods and services remains despite increase in their prices. Suppose there is a technology which is not available anywhere in the world except in one country. We will have to purchase or avail the services from a particular country. So the demand for foreign exchange in respect of that goods will remain. So the demand of foreign exchange will remain there. Sometimes there are certain people who are not concerned about what is the price of foreign currency. They will go in for purchase of foreign currency. So this is the also a form of demand curve, which in reality exists, which is somewhat in the form of a curved line. This is the increase in price, this is the decrease in demand. This is X, this is Y. This is forex rate, this is the quantity demanded of foreign exchange. We hope you might have understood the relationship between demand of foreign exchange and price of foreign exchange in a very simple manner. Thanks. Now the topic before us is a closer look at sources of foreign exchange supply. First is exports. When we do exports, suppose we are from India and we export to Japan, exports. as already told that in the case of exports, mostly the will of the exporting country or the will of the exporting businessman prevails. If the exporting country or the exporter says that I will receive the payment in your currency, that is in the case of the importing currency, I will receive the your currency in return for goods which I have sent to you, then it results into the inflow of foreign exchange. That is, when exports take place, there may be inflow of foreign exchange. Though in case of certain exports, some countries may insist that the payment may be made in their domestic currency. Then when the tourists visit our country from abroad, it results into the supply of foreign exchange because they will generally spend their foreign currency for food, local expenses, or buying other goods and services. When the foreigners make investment in our country to purchase buildings, industries, or some other land, then foreign currency or foreign exchange comes into our country. This is the source of supply of foreign exchange. When we get loans from the rest of the world, that is from other foreign governments or foreign banks, we may get loans. The foreign currency or foreign exchange comes into our country. There is supply of foreign exchange. Then there are persons who are from our country but working abroad. Their families are living back in the home country. So the workers of our country who are working abroad, they may be sending money to their families in the home country. So this results to the inflow of foreign exchange or supply of foreign exchange. Sometimes we receive grants and donations from abroad. It may be unilateral transfers or some sort of grants for investment purpose, some specific purpose. Some donations may be received by our country from the rest of the world. It results also into the supply of foreign exchange. It is quite possible that some of our business houses may be having certain properties abroad. When they sell their properties or businesses abroad, they will receive foreign currency. So when there is asset sale in foreign country by the domestic entities, it may result into the supply of foreign exchange. Now we will form the supply curve of foreign exchange. This is the supply curve of foreign exchange. Forex rate in relation to domestic currency. This is the quantity of foreign exchange supplied. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. If the price of a foreign currency is, we are here, will take the example of say Indian rupee and US dollar. At present, suppose the price of 1 US dollar is 83 Indian rupee. So if at present the forex rate or the price of foreign currency in relation to Indian currency is 83, suppose the quantity of foreign exchange supplied is 1000. If the price increases or the forex rate increases to 85, it may also increase to say 1300. The quantity of foreign exchange supplied, it also increases. There is a direct relationship. As the price or of foreign exchange or the forex rate increases, supply increases. Though we have formed it in the form of a straight line, it is for simply to make the concept simpler. That is, you understand the direct relationship between supply and forex rate. This is the simple understanding. But in actual reality, the form of supply curve may be something like this. It may not be a straight line. It may be in the form of this one. Why this one? This is at this price. This may be 1000, and when the price increases, it may be this one. This is 83 and this is 84, and it may be this one. Why this is in the form of a curve? Supply curve is this one, because when the price of forex currency increases, exporter will receive more. For example, if there is a businessman who is supplying goods to USA for say rupees 1000 US dollars, if the price of the forex rate increases, for the same goods supplied, he will receive 84,000 rupees for the same goods. Goods supplied worth rupees US dollar 1000, he will be receiving more money in the form of foreign currency. So he will feel incentivized. So he will bring, export more goods so that he can give more money in the form of currency, a domestic currency. As the price of foreign exchange is increasing, price of US dollar is increasing, but there is a limit to which the business production capacity can be increased by the business, or there is a limit to which the goods can be produced. So slowly and slowly, the increase in production or the level of the goods which can be exported comes to decrease. It may not increase after a certain point, or there may be decrease in the quantity which can be increased with the increase in price of foreign exchange. So this is the reason that though we take the normally take the supply curve as a straight line, this one straight line, normally it is in the form of a curve. It is important to note that supply curve as well as the demand curve, shape of supply curve as well as demand curve of foreign exchange, shape of both curves depends on the various factors such as government intervention, trade agreements between two countries, and speculative trading in the international forex market. Thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating to our course.